Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm Priscilla. I'm the owner of A Life Full of Simplicity. Today's video is celebrating 1 year on YouTube. I'm so excited. Today is my anniversary video. So I'm super excited because I'll be doing a Q&A. I'm super excited. So I had planned to do a Q&A in the beginning of 2021. Never ended up doing that. So the 6 or 7 questions that I received then, I will be adding to this Q&A. So I have 30 questions in total to answer. So I do have them here. I wrote them down on paper because I filmed my phone, so I had to write them down. So let's just get started and jump right in. Since this is going to be quite a long video, I would suggest getting a snack or something, you know, or listen while you do stuff and whatnot. That's obviously a great way. You could just put this on your TV and just do cleaning and stuff like that and just listen, because it's really, you're just going to be seeing my face. So yeah. So let's get started. The first set of questions, I did make them into flowing by topic. So they are in some kind of order, not the order that I received them in, obviously, but I put them in an order that it flows nicely together. So the first few questions that I received were in regards to when, how, why, when did I start tarot? Why did I start tarot? How did I get into it? And all that. So I got a question from Mystic the Shapeshifter, which was, how did you get into tarot, divination, and or witchcraft? Bia_Badassi, or Pedassi, I should say. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Asked, when and what got you interested in tarot? Third question is Oracle of the Inner Light, and it is, when did you start to get into tarot, and how, why? And last question from the Canadian Witch is, how did you start getting into tarot readings? So let me tell you. So back in 2013, I decided to take an elective course at the university that I was attending at the time, when I was in university, on witchcraft, magic, and religion. That was the name of the course. It was a religion class hosted by the religion department, and I decided to take it as an elective. I thought that was interesting and was like, why not, you know? And the class was in regards to exploring witchcraft, magic, paganism, and whatnot from within history up until modern times. So that was really interesting. I did actually really well in that course. I ended up with an A, so yay me. So it was really interesting, and I really enjoyed it. And we ended up getting a guest speaker to come speak to us towards the end of the semester, who came to talk to us about the Montreal paganism scene. So I'm sure, as you know, I'm based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So we had someone from this area come and speak to us in regards to paganism and witchcraft in Montreal. And he started talking about it, and at the end of his presentation, he told us, email me if you want to be part of our Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group, but it's specific to Montrealers. So I ended up emailing him and asked if I can be invited in. So he invited me, and I asked him also, some tips on how I can get started. And he told me just do some research, gave me some suggestions of books to read and stuff like that. So I ended up trying to research and whatnot. And I don't know, I wasn't really into it, but I did find tarot in my research. Now, I didn't do very good research. I have to say that. So I did research, and I was like, oh, tarot, that seems interesting. So let me buy a deck. So I found a deck on Amazon, and I bought it. It was like $14 at the time. And this was early 2014 by this time. So I had got a deck. And I started, I got it, read the guidebook, or was going to read the guidebook, or sort of read the guidebook or whatever, and tried to learn how to read the cards that I got. So I did that for almost a year. Didn't really go well. So then I kind of was like, you know what, maybe this is not for me right now. Maybe I can look back into this later on. Or I was like, maybe this is not for me, or whatever. Fast forward to 2019 end of 2018, I should say. End of 2018, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get back into this. Did better research, found out the deck that I bought wasn't even tarot. It was an oracle deck based on tarot, so an oracle deck based on some concepts of tarot. No tens, no court cards, had chakra cards. Anyway, that's probably why I had such a hard time learning. And then I was like, you know what? Let me do better research and find a better deck. So In the beginning of 2019, I ended up buying a new deck, actually tarot this time, I swear. I did better research. And then I started learning on that deck. So that was easier for me. And yeah, and that's how I started learning tarot. I just got an actual deck, which you can see, it's right there. And yeah, you know, that's how I started learning tarot and how I got into it. And I stuck with it. Once I got that deck, I stuck with it. So the last 3 years, I've stuck with it. And yeah, I don't really do anything else. I'd like to get into paganism and stuff, but I don't really do anything else in terms of witchcraft, I guess. It's mostly divination. So that's really the story. It's not really crazy or woo, you know, it's just really me. I took a class and that interests me, and then I did a bit of research and I got a deck just like that, and it wasn't even a good deck to begin with. So that's how I got into tarot and I got into Oracle. So yeah, you know, it's not a long story. It's not a very interesting one either, but that's how I got into tarot, because of a class I took in university. So that leads me to the next question that Bia_Padassi asked. And that's, how long have you been doing tarot readings? In total, it would be around 4 years, I guess. Yeah, I'd say 4 years. And then she also asked, how many tarot decks do you have? So for tarot, currently, as I'm filming this, I have 50 in my collection. And in terms of Oracle, I have currently, as we're filming, 46. That's how many I have in my collection. Next question she asked is, how do you choose them? So typically when I want to buy a new deck for myself, typically I go based on art. If I like the artwork, typically is how I choose decks that I actually like to bring into my collection. Yeah. Usually it's based on the art, if I connect with the art or not. And that leads into the next question that she asked, which was, what do you think about only getting decks you feel spiritually connected to, or choosing guided by intuition? That's a good question, honestly. Personally, I would never choose anything. Well, technically, if I'm only going based on art, that's technically going by intuition, but I don't think... I'm trying to think here. I personally need to feel a connection with the artwork in order for me to want it in my collection. If I don't have a connection with the artwork, I just won't, like, it won't work for me, you know? So I typically only choose decks that I'm connected with the artwork on. Obviously, guidebook is very important as well. I do like having a good guidebook. But the thing is, I'm already familiar with most of the cards, just maybe the court cards, sometimes I mix them up, but all the rest of the cards, I'm already familiar with them. So guidebook is not that important because I have a bunch of other books that I could use with any deck, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, the artwork needs to speak to me. It needs to speak to me, or else I'm not. Yeah. If in terms of beginners though, see, I'm not a beginner anymore, but in terms of being a beginner, I would advise against that, mainly because beginners tend to get decks that don't suit them as a beginner. They tend to get a deck that they would use once they actually know the cards. So getting things like pip decks where the minors are non-illustrated, those are really hard for beginners to use and very hard to learn. So my suggestion is always to get a deck, at least when you're learning, you know, to get just a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I personally did not a fan of Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's the best deck to learn on, in my opinion. So that's usually what I suggest. And then as your second deck, get something that you connect with, is usually what I say. If someone asks me specifically for advice, mainly because you want to be able to learn properly, at least, and then you can do whatever you want down the road. Because that's what I did the second time. So the first time I got a deck thinking it was tarot because I didn't do proper research, but it ended up not being tarot, so I had a hard time learning with that particular deck. Like, I read the deck fine, but it wasn't tarot, it was Oracle. So I was reading an Oracle deck, not a tarot deck, which is not the same as tarot. So the second time, when I actually got a tarot deck, I learned actual tarot, not Oracle. So the second time around helped more, even though my deck is not traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. And I wish I had learned on a Rider-Waite-Smith because the imagery is a lot easier on an RWS deck. I do have a RWS deck now, but yeah, I wish I had learned first on an RWS deck. So that's usually my suggestion is if you're going to pick a deck for your first time learning, pick RWS and, you know, pick a second deck that is based on connection to the art, to whoever the creator or whatever, you know. And that's usually my suggestion, mainly because you learn better doing that. You can even buy both at the same time and use them side by side, and you'll be able to understand the differences also. I suggest that sometimes too, because RWS, like, they're really inexpensive. So you can easily afford 2 decks if you wanted to. But that, again, that's just my opinion. There are decks out there that are RWS inspired, like the Everyday Witch, the Modern Witch. There's the Everyday Tarot. That one is the one by Biddy Tarot. Bridget Esselmont. Not a fan. It's ugly. The colors are ugly. I don't like it. I'm trying to think what else. Lightseers. So many out there, and I just can't think of all of them right now. But yeah, in case you don't like traditional RWS, because that bright yellow is not it. It's just not it. And this whole thing leads me into my next question from Oracle of Inner Light, which is, have you ever felt like you had absolutely no connection with some very specific visuals or art styles? Yes, especially colors. So, for example, the Everyday Tarot by Bridget Esselmont, which is a Biddy Tarot, purple and gold. It's RWS and it's purple and gold. Is just not it. I find it so ugly. I'm not a fan of the color palette. At that point, I might as well just buy a regular RWS and deal with the bright ass yellow that's on there, which I already have. So no, thank you. I'm also not really a fan of RWS in general, like the regular decks. I find the colors and it's a lot of male energy in there as well. Not enough females in that deck. So, But I do like the Smith Waite is nice too. But there's a version of the RWS that I like because the colors are toned down, and I can't remember right now. So I'm sure I'll pop it on the screen or something when I remember, because I don't. Okay, so yes, some visuals, some art visuals, not a fan of. I'm trying to think of other examples. There's certain Oracle decks that I'm not a fan of. I guess the original deck that I got, the original Oracle deck, actually the artwork is not bad. It's just the font and the border. Anyway, I'm trying to think. There's this alien deck. I don't know. There's some visuals I'm just not into. Some alien decks that I'm not into. There's one that came out recently by Rockpool. That one is a Martian one. I'm just what? So no. But usually decks that I'm not attracted to visually, I don't buy them typically. They don't enter my collection. Everything that's in my collection, I actually visually, I enjoy it. So, except for one deck. And that's the original Oracle deck that I got. But other than that, all the decks that I have in my collection I have a connection with them visually. So, yes, there are decks out there that I don't like, and I'm sure other people love them. Fantastic. That's why they're out there. They're out there for you specifically, which is great. And that's okay. It's okay not to like certain decks. There's decks that I have, and I know people that aren't into them, and that's okay. Not everyone loves the Modern Witch Tarot, and I love that deck, so... decks are put out there, and there's literally a market for them. There's somewhere else. There's plenty of people out there that will buy whatever deck is on the market. So it's okay. It's okay. So the next questions that I got were from the Witch's Beans and Oracle of the Inner Light. Oracle of Inner Light. Apologies. And the question was, what was your first tarot and Oracle deck, and do you still use them in your practice? So that one's from the Witch's Beans. And Oracle of the Inner Light asked a similar question, which was, which deck was your first one? So my first deck was this one. Now, I do have an unboxing of this on my channel, so I'll link it in the cards or there. I don't know which corner it pops in. This deck. Oh, this deck. It is one is called the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck. Now, that's what threw me off. There are chakra cards in here, so we have them. They have black borders. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. Then we have some other black bordered cards, which are supposed to be the majors. So they have all 22 majors, destiny. We have balance. Balance. These are all supposed to represent the major arcana. But they're not very good. Now the artwork is, honestly, I don't mind the artwork that much. I just really hate the borders. And I hate the font. And I wish that this deck was borderless and had a different font because the font is ugly. Then the minors are all bordered with colors. So we have green. This is I believe this is the earth suit. Let me see. Let me see. Because I don't even use this deck, so I don't remember. Okay, let's see. No, so green border is emotions. So this would be the cup suit. Not even the right color. Then we have blue, which is, I guess this is indigo. Yeah, this is the mental suit. So these are the swords. Then we have purple, which is spirit. I don't remember what this is. Okay, I have to look at this because I don't remember. Inspiration. Okay, so spirit is the wands. Purple border. Passion ignited. And then we have the red border, which is physical, which is earth, which is the pentacles. But the thing is, they only go from 1 to 9. There's no 10s and there's no court cards, which in tarot structure you're supposed to have. And I didn't know that because when I got this deck, I didn't know much about tarot. So, yeah. So, yeah, the artwork is not bad. I just don't like the borders. The borders really throw me off. I'm just like, ugh. But yeah, I'm just like, nope. Nope, 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 nope. So yes, there's gilding. These are the backs. As I said, I have a full walkthrough of this particular deck on my channel. It's in the cards, so definitely click on that little eye in the corner and you'll be able to see it. So that was Oracle deck that I thought was tarot, but it's Oracle. My first tarot deck, however, is the Wild Unknown. I really want to get the pocket edition of this, but I haven't yet. So yes, I have also a walkthrough of this deck. It is on my channel as well. It was also in my VR video for my birthday, the Tarot for Decades VR. You can also go watch that if you'd like. I'll put the flip through in the cards as well. So yes. So I do love this. It's mainly black and white with pops of color. The court cards are renamed to daughter, son, mother, and father. It is a darker deck. Very pippish as well. But I don't mind too much. So yes, the wands are pretty pippish. Here's the ace. So yes, and then some of the swords cards are scary. This one's pretty good. The butterfly. So yes, I do love this deck very much. It's a great shadow work deck. Honestly, I love it for shadow work. Love this Two of Cups. So nice. But yeah, this is the deck that I learned tarot on, and I love it. It's great. I use this for shadow work majority of the time with the Archetypes deck that I have also by Kim Krans. Look at this death card. Oh, beautiful. So yes, yeah, I really love this deck. Not everyone vibes with this deck. I know a lot of people that don't like this deck, which is perfectly okay. But I absolutely love it. I do want to get the pocket edition. I have yet to do that though, but yes. So these were my first decks, which was the question. The second half of the question was, do I still use them in my practice? This one, I do not. It sits in a drawer. I will never give this away though, or sell it or anything, because I bought this for $14. And it's now $35 on Amazon Canada. Absolutely ridiculous. But I will never give this away because it does hold sentimental value, being my first deck and everything. And the reason why I got into the practice. So it'll sit in a drawer. It's okay. I'm okay with this. This I mainly use for shadow work. I use it also for reading, incorporating color into readings. If you want to do color magic, I incorporate color into readings. Also, I'm looking to actually do a video on how to read color in tarot. If you're interested in that kind of video on how I read color in tarot, let me know in the comments. I'd love to film that if anyone's interested in watching that. It would be like a little mini course, I guess, on how to do that. So, yes. The next question by Mystic the Shapeshifter was, what is your go-to tarot and oracle decks? So, my go-to tarot deck would be the Light Seers Tarot. I do have a flip through of this also on my channel. It's the Chris Ann trilogy, where I flip through this deck, the Muse Tarot, and unbox my latest Chris Ann deck, which is the Tarot of Curious Creatures, which I absolutely love now. I'm like really getting along well with it. So yes, I love this deck very much. Honestly, if you're a beginner and looking to get into tarot, I highly recommend this deck if you don't like Rider-Waite-Smith. It is modern, but it keeps true to the RWS. So this one is super easy to read with intuitively. Like just looking at the imagery, you'll be able to channel the messages really well. So yes. So definitely in love with that. But again, I do have a flip through of this on my channel, so if you're interested, you can definitely check that out as well. So yes. Ooh, look at this Queen of Wands. Love this Queen of Wands. Temperance. This is my Sun card. So yeah, it's great. I love it. Very deep. This is like my absolute favorite Eight of Pentacles. So Eight of Pentacles is my favorite card, and this is like my absolute favorite. Out of all the Eight of Pentacles, this one's my favorite. It's absolutely beautiful and absolutely embodies me as a person. So yes, so that's my go-to tarot. Again, it's the Light Seers, linked in the cards. And then I have the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette Baron Reid and Jenna Della Grattaglia. This is my go-to oracle deck. Now, I don't have a walkthrough of this yet on my channel. I did film one. It's there sitting in my YouTube on private. But I have yet to post it, like schedule it or post it or whatever, make it public. So yes, I love this deck very much. It's my go-to. I love Colette Baron Reid decks. I have quite a number of them on my wish list to get, and I have quite a number in my own collection. So this is definitely a go-to. Easy to read. Guidebook is amazing. It has some very interesting sections. So each card has an essential meaning, an oracle message, a relationship message, prosperity message, and then a protection message, which is the reversal. So it has reversals, and you can read it for really any situation, which I absolutely love. So I'm definitely a big fan of this particular deck. I'll try to post the unboxing soon. I just have other videos coming first. So as soon as I can, I will definitely post this soon. Not sure if it's like picking up well, but yeah. Oh, I love this. Time for a nap. Time for a nap. Mood. It's great. I love this deck so much. It took me forever to get it, but I love it. So that's my go-to oracle. Then I have a question by Tarot L, Tarot_L, and she asked, what is your favorite oracle and tarot deck that you have ever owned? So my favorite tarot deck is Tarot of Mystical Moments. I have a double unboxing of this on my channel for the tarot and oracle together. Whoops, losing cards already. And I absolutely love this deck. Honestly, this was also featured in that VR that I did for my birthday. It is so interesting. Look at that gilding. Very nice. It is a very interesting deck, very glossy. So they're really slippery. It's hard to hold sometimes. But yes, I absolutely love this deck so much. It has 2 kings and 2 emperors, which is super unique and interesting. Obviously, you can choose, there's like the traditional male kings and male emperor, and then female king, female emperor. You can choose, obviously, if you want to keep one or the other in the deck. I keep both in it. I think it just adds a different perspective to the reading, in my opinion. More of a female, this is the female King of Pentacles, more of a female perspective rather than a masculine one. So more of a feminine perspective than a masculine one. So yeah, here's the Wheel of Fortune. But yes, I love using this for myself. This is supposed to be the female emperor, yet this still looks like a man. And I did talk about this in my video, so definitely check it out if you want to know more. But yes, that female emperor does look masculine, and I mainly state in my video that he's dressed the way males would dress during a time like that. So I don't know how it's portrayed as female, but anyway, or feminine, I guess. I love this moon card. But yeah, I love her artistry. I hope she puts out more decks. Love this Page of Pentacles. This is like my favorite page. So yes, very interesting. So that's my favorite tarot. And then my favorite oracle will have to be the Animalkin Oracle, which again, I have a flip through of this on my channel. And this is an animal oracle deck. And this one does have borders, but I absolutely love them because it lends the uniqueness of the cards, which is really interesting. I don't know if it's focusing, but yeah. Anyway, I have a video on it, so if you want to look at it, you can definitely go do that. With the lighting, probably not. But yeah, I just love it. It has like different animals, and the imagery is just what attracted me to this particular deck. I find it really, really beautiful and really interesting. So, and I also used this recently also for daily polls, and the messages I got were absolutely amazing. So, and they definitely resonated. So definitely this is definitely my favorite at the moment for Oracle, or that I've ever owned, because that was the actual question. But yes, definitely my favorite Animalkin Oracle. I'll also leave any of these decks that I have unboxings of, or flip throughs of, or walkthroughs of, or whatever. I'll leave them linked in the description box. That way, in case I can't add them to the cards, because I think you can only add 5 videos to the cards or something like that. So yes, I'll link them down below so you can check them out. Okay, so the next question that I have from Oracle of Inner Light is, how did you learn to interpret the cards? So, this kind of also goes with Faith.Illuminated's question, which is, what tools or resources have you used to help you learn and understand tarot better? I have books, mainly the guidebook. So the guidebook. If the deck comes with a good guidebook, read it from cover to cover. Perfect. Great. So the decks that I've gotten that have good guidebooks, I typically have used those as reference points. My favorite websites that I have learned tarot from would be, at the beginning it was Biddy Tarot, but then I got really annoyed with the constant buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this. And I'm just like, no, 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 no. So I stopped using her website because, oh my God, the amount of pop-ups and ads, and I'm just like, I don't want to be thrown so many things at me to buy or to learn or to advertise. Like, no, to stop. So, So I switched to using Labyrinthos website, and I love it so much better. Like, you can buy stuff on their website, but they have a lot of free resources, which I absolutely love. A lot of free resources. I learned so much from that website, honestly, in terms of tarot, in terms of tarot and astrology, tarot and elements. Everything you can imagine is on there, and it's free, the way it should be for people to learn. Obviously, you can buy decks from them. They have their own decks. You can buy decks from them. They have their own books, which I do want. I want their book. They have a book and I want it. I don't have it yet, but I do want it. And I have their app as well. They have a free app that you can learn tarot on. It's absolutely amazing. You do like different courses, like free little mini exercises on their app. So much fun. You can also do digital readings if you don't have like a physical deck with you. You can do digital readings, daily pull, stuff like that, which is really good. So that was another thing also that helped me learn tarot, and also a resource that I use to understand tarot better. And some other things, I like Marcus Katz and Tally Goodwin, Around the Tarot in 78 Days. That one's really good. I love that book. I have it. And what else? The book Tarot and Astrology by Corinne Kenner. That one's good also. Holistic Tarot by Benabel Wen. Oh my God. If you were only able to have one book, get it. Get that one. That thing is like 900 pages. It covers everything. That book is like, you're set for life with that book. That book is amazing. I also like Fearless Tarot. Kitchen Table Tarot. I don't have a physical copy of that. I do have the ebook. I do want to get the physical copy though, because it's absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think that's it, honestly. Just using different websites and reading the guidebook, I think, is like the best. Oh, maybe some tarot courses on YouTube. Tarot Oracle has some good free YouTube courses. Lisa Papez just came out with one. Tarot training wheels. Definitely check that out on her YouTube channel. She also has a deeper course that you can pay for off her website. But if you just want to do like the free course, she has like videos on her YouTube channel, and that's great also. That was a newer thing though, and of course I'm going to do it. 4 years tarot. I'm not an expert like by any means, so any kind of knowledge or information, I just like mine, because like I need more information. Always, you always need more information, in my opinion. So I think that's it. Then I have Oracle of Inner Light that asks, do you have a go-to spread? No. So my readings are all dependent on what the topic is. So I change spreads all the time for readings. If I just do a general reading, it's just going to be 3 cards. So I guess my go-to spread is 3 cards. Like, kind of similar to like a past, present, future, but not really, because I don't really use those specific terminology. But any kind of 3-card spread is really my go-to, I guess, is what I'd say. Oh, hey there, Joe, my real life bestie, asked, what was the most poignant reading you gave yourself, and what did you learn? I don't know. I get myself readings all the time, so I don't know. I guess a past life reading that I did. I've only done one past life reading for myself, and maybe that one. That was pretty interesting, actually. I learned that I was someone who helped others in a past life, and that makes total sense. Especially since I have a psychology degree, social service degree, helping others. It's my forte. So I definitely learned that that's my path. My path is going to be to help others, really, in some sense. Also, people weren't really supportive of that in my past life, which is not the case now. So I've learned that things have changed, which is obviously the case because my past life was from the 1500s and we're modern times. So yeah, that's what really I learned about myself, and that it was very interesting. I didn't do as deep of a dive on it though that I usually do for past life reading, so I definitely would want to do a deeper dive to understand a little bit more about that past life. But the gist of it was that I learned that my path has been set for me for centuries. Pretty much. So I think that's a very interesting one, that I'm on like a similar path as my previous past life, which is interesting to me. To me, it's very interesting. So I guess that's probably the most interesting reading that I've given myself. Usually I just do very basic readings like moon readings and different astrological events and stuff like that. Maybe a monthly reading and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy or anything. So yeah, I would say that one. Then Mystic the Shapeshifter asks, what type of reading is your favorite to do? Past life readings. Honestly, they're the longest and most draining ever, but they're the most interesting ever. It doesn't matter if your past life was the most horrible past life ever or it was like the best past life ever. It's still very interesting. Very interesting. I did a past life reading once where this person's past life was doctor during World War II. That's pretty interesting to me. Yeah. So it really depends. But that one's like my most favorite to do because you always discover some interesting things. I will say though, my least favorite is doing love readings because those are the most boring. But I'll do them because that's what usually people like. But they're boring. Tarot L asks, what is your daily tarot practice? So I don't typically have a daily tarot practice. I don't do tarot daily. I do daily oracle pulls. So I'll pull a card every day from an oracle deck that I'm working with for the month and just get an energy or focus for the day or whatever. So that's what I do in terms of oracle. In terms of tarot, typically I'll do like a monthly reading, and then during the month I'll do a new moon reading, a full moon reading, different astrological events if I find a spread for them or I feel like it's interesting enough for me to do one, then I'll do one. And then typically maybe like a reflection at the end of the month, or sometimes not even. Sometimes I'll do random spreads that I find interesting, or maybe some shadow work. That's really what I do. I don't really do anything specific. Like my tarot practice is like out there. It's whatever for myself. When I have time, I'll do readings. So yes, as I'm filming this right now, I still haven't even done my 2022 year ahead reading, which I need to do and haven't done it. So yeah. Bia Padassi asks, do you remember your first paid official reading? How did you feel? So I've never been paid for a reading. I've only done free readings, giveaways, things like that, mainly because I haven't had time to put up my shop yet and my Etsy store and whatnot. So everything has been free practice type readings and stuff like that, except for on an app that I'm on where I'm part of a community and I do readings there, and they have an in-app currency that you can like change between people. So I'll do readings for the in-app currency, like not real money. But other than that, no. But if we're going to talk about in terms of that, probably a love reading. I don't even remember, honestly. I have no idea. It was probably a love reading. My first ever reading, just generally speaking, probably a love reading, honestly. Actually, no. Yes, it was a love reading. I remember now. It was a free reading that I gave. I offered in a chat or whatever, some chat room on tarot. And this person asked for a love reading. They specifically asked for a love reading. So I was like, sure, let's do it. And I did the love reading. They didn't really tell me much on their situation or whatever. This was the first time that I've ever given a reading. Okay. And I gave them the reading and they were like, wait, what? And I was like, is something wrong? And they were like, oh, this doesn't resonate. Like, this person and I are not romantically involved. I'm like, but you wanted a love reading. I'm confused. Is this not a romantic relationship? You don't want a romantic relationship with them? Ended up being that it's a friend, and they just wanted to know how that person felt about them. So this is a friendship reading. Like, why didn't you ask for a friendship reading? I am so confused. It really pissed me off. So now from that reading, I'm like, anytime someone asks me for a love reading, I'm like, are you in a relationship with this person? Is this a current love interest? So if they say no, I ask, is this a current love interest of yours? Like, are you interested in being with them romantically? I always ask this now because of that one time where someone asked for a love reading, but it was for a friend that they didn't actually want to be romantically involved in. So I was like, why did you ask for a love reading? It's the stupidest thing ever. Stupidest thing ever. People are so weird sometimes. I swear to God. So yes, it was a love reading. That wasn't supposed to be a love reading. Go figure. So yeah, so I felt really annoyed because the part of the question was, how did you feel? I felt annoyed. I felt annoyed because people don't give enough context to what they are asking for. If you want a reading, give context on what it is you are requiring, because they can't read your mind. Everyone thinks that tarot readers are psychic. I can't read your mind. I'm not psychic. I'm not a mind reader. You have to actually tell me what it is you want from the reading, or at least give me some context to what's going on so I know what it is I'm reading for. It's ridiculous. Oh my God. So yeah. Bits and Bob's Divination asks, what's your go-to witchy tools in your practice? So tarot and oracle. That's really it. I don't really do or use anything else. I'm learning runes, but that's not really a go-to of mine because it's really hard. It's so hard. Oh my God. But yeah, not a go-to of mine. So yeah, just tarot and oracle. Mystic the Shapeshifter asks, what is something new you want to learn, explore in your witchcraft spiritual practice? So I'd like to continue my rune study. It's really hard, but I really want to learn. Like, I really want to learn. And a friend of mine, shout out to Anna, she made me a rune set and sent it to me. So I'm trying to learn it. It's just really hard because I don't know how to pronounce all of the runes. And they're very hard to remember. So yeah, I just have to take it slow. I think I should do cue cards, honestly, in my opinion, but I'm definitely going to do that. I also want to learn dice divination, which is astrogallomancy. I think that's fun. I have a D&D set that I want to get, which are dice for playing D&D, but each type of dice, because they're different shapes, they all have different divination properties to them. So I really want to get a set of that and learn how to do dice divination. I think that would be really fun. And I really, really, really want to learn Lenormand, because that is going to be fun, honestly. And yeah, so I think I'm going to do that in the new year, probably learn Lenormand. I'll get probably just a deck to learn on from Amazon, and a book that I found by Marcus Katz and Tally Goodwin. They write a lot of good books, honestly. And I'll probably get Regina's deck, because she's also coming out with a Lenormand deck, and I really want it because it looks good. It looks so nice. It looks so nice. So I'm definitely gonna get that once it's up on her website. So yes, those are the things I want to learn and explore. The next question, now we're done with like the tarot and oracle and whatnot, and we're going into YouTube. Yay! So Mystic the Shapeshifter asks, what inspired you to start your YouTube channel? Okay, so I originally started making videos back in January of 2020 on Instagram. So I've actually been making videos for a while now. And that year I had been making videos, and I made the decision in the fall of 2020 that I decided, you know what, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. I think it would be better than putting videos here. Great decision, because Instagram sucks. Sucks. So I made my channel, and I decided that I was going to post in the new year. January 2nd is when I posted my first ever YouTube video. And then I've just been making content for YouTube ever since. You know, that's really that's what inspired me, is that I was already making content on Instagram and decided to change platform because I found that it would be so much better and more fun. I think it was just something that would be challenging for me and more interesting, in my opinion. So yeah. And that goes into the questions that I have from Lunaria33. She's another YouTuber, by the way. So She wrote, so I think I remember seeing somewhere that you were afraid and or shy about putting your face out there on YouTube, which is true. I actually said this in your Q&A. Luna, if you're watching, your Q&A. I mentioned that. And she also states, but since that first time, how do you feel it has changed you? Now, I started, I think, doing videos with my face in them 3 months or 4 months in, I think. And it has been interesting. Definitely something to get used to because I'm filming. But I'm not, like, no one, like, this is not live, right? So if I screw up, I can just cut it out. The art of editing. Fantastic. So I guess it's changed me in a good way because I find it, I don't know, I find it interesting. It's fun. You know, hopefully people are enjoying my face. I would hope so. Hopefully. But yeah, and then she goes on to ask, do you feel less anxious being on camera? Definitely. Filming like this, definitely. I'd say that I'd be more anxious doing lives because I'm live, but I recently took part in Lisa Pepe's, her wife Peggy hosts like a quarterly thing where she'll like host something for like the equinox or the solstice, and I had signed up for the autumn equinox one, but it ended up getting canceled, and then I took part in the Yule one for the winter solstice, and I was on camera and it was live and it was fun, and I'm definitely going to be doing that from now on. I don't know if I'll start doing lives on my own channel yet because I don't know how comfortable I am with that, and plus I think I need software, and so I don't know how it works, so I'm just gonna be like, ugh, not right now. And I think I'm gonna do that, and I think it'll be fun, and I'll be putting myself out there like that as well. So yeah, and that also allows me to get over that fear as well of just being on camera and with people and people watching and stuff like that. So that was really fun. I definitely loved it. So I'll definitely be doing that more often, like signing up for that. If you want to check out the video that I was in, I'll link it down in the description as well. So you can check it out if you like. And then the last question that Luna asks is, do you still feel anxious showing more of you on camera, and why? No, not really. Not anymore. It's been months now that I've been filming videos with my face in it. It's just a hassle because I don't like filming without makeup on of some sort. So I tend to at least do my eyes, at least, because I don't wear foundation. So, and do my hair somewhat. My hair is naturally curly, so typically I'll just wet it and let it dry, and it becomes like this. So typically I'll make more of an effort. Whereas when I'm filming unboxings and stuff, I'm in my pajamas. My hair's a mess. You don't see me, so I don't care. So this is a little bit more of a hassle, but I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to do it for the people. And for content like this, because content like this requires my face. Like, I can't really, you can't be staring at like my setup, my tarot setup. Like, but you're just going to be hearing me talking and staring at nothing. That's weird. So yes. So definitely not anxious anymore. It has been an adventure in doing videos like this, and I've definitely been enjoying them, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying them also. And I'm hoping to make more content like this as well, so hopefully you like it, because if you don't, I don't care. It's my channel after all, so I'll do what I want. So yes. So now on to some random questions, or some questions not related to Tarot Oracle YouTube or anything like that. The Canadian Witch asks, do you have animals? I do not. I have no pets. I'm not allowed pets. If I was to have a pet, though, I'd probably have a cat. I love cats, so yeah. But no, I have no pets or animals or anything of the sort, so yeah, it's sad. The Mystic Shapeshifter asks, favorite animal? Okay, I don't know. Dolphins, probably. I've always loved dolphins. What else? Turtles. I love turtles. Sloths. I love sloths. So cute. So cute. I don't know. I like a lot of animals. I wouldn't really say I have a favorite because it's so hard. There's so many great animals on this planet, and I just love them so much. So I don't know. Those are some, I guess, of favorites. What's your favorite animal? Tell me in the comments because I'd like to know. And still based on animals, the Canadian Witch asks, what is your spirit animal? So from what I know about spirit animals, that's a closed practice. It's like indigenous. So if I was to talk about animal spirits or animal guides, which I believe is not the same thing or is not closed, I don't have any at all now. I feel like I did when I was in high school. I had a really large obsession with dolphins when I was in high school. I had everything dolphins. Figurines, I had a snow globe, I had pictures on my walls of dolphins. My mom bought me this beautiful dolphin blanket. She bought me this clock that had dolphins on it. I had dolphins everywhere. Everywhere. So I definitely feel like maybe when I was in high school I did have some kind of animal spirit or some animal guide of some sort in terms of like dolphins. But now, no, I don't think so. I don't think I have any. But again, I think certain things like that only take place, you know, at certain times of your life. Sometimes they could be all your life, but I think really it's only certain times of your life. And maybe at that time I needed a guide like that. So yeah, no, not anymore. But I did. And then on to another question by the Whimsical Arcane. What was the most memorable event that happened to you this year? Oh my god. Well, I graduated from school. That's a memorable event, honestly. Yeah. In terms of like everyday life, I think school was like the biggest thing for me. Graduating. Because I was finally done with school. And I really wanted to. I have been in school for I don't even know how long, so long. But I graduated with my degree in social service, so really happy. That was a memorable event. Unfortunately, it was during COVID, didn't have a graduation, which sucks, but to graduate is a memorable thing, in my opinion. In terms of social media, I think in terms of YouTube, this is a memorable event, celebrating 1 year. I think that's amazing. Some people, you know, they start channels and then forget about them. Never do anything with it, you know? So the fact that I stuck with it and I'm still going to be going with it is memorable for me. I think also reaching 100 followers on YouTube, which is crazy. I didn't think I would do that in a year, but I did. So that's great. It's pretty memorable to me also, to be growing. That's what I love. That's the memorable part, is growth, you know? Growth is always nice. But other than that, no, not really. I think like the biggest thing is just the fact that I graduated school with another degree. It gave me, you know, 2 degrees. I think that's a great thing. The fact that I worked this hard. And then my last question. Thank you for sticking with me for so long. If you've stayed until the end, I love it. So the last question was asked by Jade Light Tarot. And she asks, one thing you wish you knew when you started reading tarot. So I think I mentioned this already, but I think starting with a simpler deck. I wish I knew that it would have been best to start with just a basic Rider-Waite-Smith deck, because it would have been a lot easier to learn tarot on instead of that psychic tarot oracle cards. And then I do love my Wild Unknown, but I think it would have been easier to learn tarot on Rider-Waite-Smith, in my opinion. Also, another thing that I wish I knew was tarot journaling. So I only started tarot journaling recently, but I wish I knew this from the beginning, that having a tarot journal with all my notes would be really important. So I do have notes, not from the very beginning though. My notes are more recent, but they're on loose leaf paper, so they're not in an actual notebook or anything. But yes, I wish I knew that having a tarot journal would be really important into learning and cultivating practice. So usually what I advise people if they ask me if they're going to be learning is get a Rider-Waite-Smith deck, get a good guidebook, just a regular tarot book. I usually like the Ultimate Tarot Guidebook by Liz Dean, I believe. That one's really good. Or the Holistic Tarot by Annabelle Wen. Those are the best in my opinion for learning. And I'll advise like read those, get a Rider-Waite-Smith deck to begin with, and start a tarot journal and write down for every single card what you see in the card, so the imagery you see, how the card makes you feel, what you think the card means, and the traditional meaning of the card. So keywords or traditional meaning or whatever. And then, of course, you can add in other things like symbology, astrology, if you want to go there, planets and all that stuff. You can always add that stuff later, but just like the basics. And do that for all 78 cards. And then start doing a daily pull every single day. Shuffle and do a daily pull every single day. And learn and write down your readings. Pulled 6 of Pentacles. And then, you know, focus on, I don't know, 6 of Pentacles is what again? It's the charity card. Charity card. So focus on being kinder to others, giving to others, or focus on being kinder to myself, give more to myself, you know, as an interpretation. You can write that down or whatever. And just do that for a few months, doing that for yourself. Then you can move, if you feel comfortable with the daily pulls, then move on to doing a 3-card reading. Don't pull 50,000 cards, please. The thing that I hate the most is when people, I'm on a community, and when people come to the tarot chat and they're like, can you help me with a reading, interpreting a reading? Sure, you know, we tell them what the rules are, this is what you have to provide for us to help. And then they provide a photo of their card and they pull like 7 cards for one question. Don't do that. If you're new at tarot, don't pull 50 million cards. Pull 3. Don't read jumpers, please. People do that all the time. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, and then they tell me all these cards jumped out. Yeah, you probably didn't shuffle them properly. You probably were clumsy like me. So don't do that, please. I'm telling you, just pull 3 cards from the top, read them. It'll be like the best thing ever. Read jumpers when you're a little bit more experienced is usually what I say. And if you're going to read jumpers, only read those that actually fall face up. If they fall face down, they're not valid. They mean nothing. But there's no point in reading like 7 cards if you don't even know how to read 1 card. Like, you're not going to learn anything from that. So that's really things that I wish I knew and that I advise others really is what I do. So, or what I wish I had and what I like to tell other people. So I do thank you so much for watching. I know this was a long video, but I hope that you stuck with me. If you stuck with me this far, pop some emojis down in the comments. Any emoji, just pop one. You know, 1 comment with a bunch of emojis in it, and I'll know that you stayed until the end of the video. I'll know. It's great. So yeah, I do thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned some fun stuff about me and my journey. And I hope that you stick around for the next year, because 2022 is going to be a good one. I have a lot of ideas of things that I would like to do, so I'm hoping that I will be able to actually do them. So thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on that bell so you can be notified every time I post a brand new video, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it's greatly appreciated. Thanks so much and have a great day.